Hello, I'm Regina Rowland, and I will be introducing you to SDG 3, Good Health and Well-Being. The main goal for this SDG is to ensure healthy lives and promote well-being for all people at all ages. What does health mean? So nowadays we look at health as not merely the absence of disease, but as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being. So we look at the whole person. There's something called objective well-being. That's about people's living conditions and their opportunities to realize their potential. And subjective well-being. That's people's experience of their lives. This is a multidimensional and difficult issue to capture with one measure, but often treated as the quality of life and happiness. Now, when we look at models of health, we can realize, as shown here in the rainbow of health, that your own health is embedded in your social and community networks, in your living and working conditions, and overall in the general socioeconomic, cultural, and environmental conditions of your life. There are 9 targets and 4 measures to pay attention to with this SDG. And the report from 2020 shows us what the global issues are with SDG 3. And then the European statistics show us different aspects of good health and well-being in comparison between different countries in the EU. So I invite you to go and check that out and play with that statistic for a little while. In Austria, we could say that in general, we're on a good way in good health and well-being, but we do have some things to work on. For instance, it's very interesting that hepatitis B is an issue for us in Austria, as well as the lack of healthy environmental conditions. So that's a constant exposure to unhealthy substances, such as fine dust or tobacco smoke or alcohol. Also, malnutrition and lack of exercise is an issue for us in Austria, and stress, noise, and poor working conditions. So let's look at organizations and different types of organizations and how they can contribute to SDG 3. So first, we always want to look at the core purpose of an organization, the stakeholders that are involved, and how this SDG impacts the organization. Also, what challenges or costs emerge from this impact, and on the other hand, what opportunities and benefits arise. When we have all that in our head or in front of us, then we can think about inward actions and outward actions and how they synergize together. So let's look at educational institutions. In terms of SDG 3, the task lies in increasing health consciousness, offering a drug and smoke-free environment, healthy food options and exercise programs on campus, and teaching good health and well-being strategies across curricula. So an example of an inward action could be to address health issues through campaigns, so about alcohol and drugs, and impact of those, smoking, violence, eating habits, and sports or lack of exercise. And to include health and well-being studies in all program types. An outward action could be to negotiate discounted memberships in sport facilities for students, especially if you don't have your own sports facility on campus, to co-organize competitions between schools in the fields of sport and nutrition, or to partner with other institutions to reach agreement across schools for moving to completely smoke-free campuses. What can municipalities do? So towns, cities, villages. In terms of this SDG, the task lies in increasing the desire in the community for a shared healthy lifestyle. An example of an inward action could be to promote sustainability-oriented diets, so that's plant-based, wholesome food, to create volunteer and community-based support systems for the elderly administered by the municipality or volunteers that cooperate with the municipality, to engage nutrition specialists in kindergartens and schools to train the young at an early age, and then for them to train their parents. An example of an outward action could be to promote and fund sports and health lifestyles competitions in the region, to co-develop regional policies that assist the establishment of healthy, organic, local food supply chains. Now, what can corporations or other types of organizations do? In terms of SDG 3, they could impact their staff's experience of good health and well-being with workplace health promotion and activities, and to pay attention to signs of stress and overwhelm and mitigate their causes. An example of an inward action could be to support a culture of open communication about pressures at work, to offer flexible work time models and that are adaptable to diverse living conditions of staff members. And an example of an outward action could be to lobby for policies that promote good health and well-being, for instance, a 30-hour work week, tax-reduced sports and health promotion costs, or to co-create sports or cooking competitions across the industry. The slide deck then takes you to the activity where you can reflect upon your own organization or an organization of your choice about contributions that they could make to SDG 3, and then also to double check whether these designs that you're thinking of are also coherent and create synergy. Then the slide deck takes you further to reflection questions and further information, and to the SDG journey that asks you to go out into your community and look for evidence of good health and well-being and measures to enforce it, but also to reflect upon what would be needed in the traditional health system that is still working in our country to move away from the understanding of health as the absence of illness and towards a focus on promoting good health instead. Have fun with this SDG. I'll see you at another slide deck.